Mid-season updates here. Time for your hard drive flattening. This time they made a separate roadmap for it. Season 4 Reloaded. Alright, let's go through what's new, show you some gameplay, and talk about it. Despite the big downloads every time, they once again say that this will reduce the overall game size, but for me on PC, the game was 192 gigs, the download was 36, and now the game is 220. It got 28 gigs bigger, so I don't know about that. Maybe only on console. Looking at multiplayer first, we've got that new map, Cheshire Park. It's not far off being shoot house sized with some extra area around the spawns, which is a good start to not be boring camper land, but I'd say there is more of that on this map. We've got some long lanes, some buildings. It's a map. Maybe this will interest you, or maybe you're one of the every single reply to every COD tweet saying, bring back shipment, the game sucks. Well, there is Shoot the Ship as well, not only the new map 24/7, and with double XP apparently on the way soon, that'll be pretty easy grinding right there, although I know Shoot the Ship typically ends up being a lot more shoot than ship. I'm sure having those two maps be separate and permanent would make a lot of people happy, but this is how it be. There's also a new mode, Team Defender. I know some people were a big fan of it back in Modern Warfare 3. Based on Halo's Oddball, it's like capture the flag, except you don't take the flag anywhere, you just have to fight to hold on to it for points. That's the basic idea. Also, another gunfight tournament is on the way with new rewards. They teased a zigzaggy, silvery XRK M4. Alright. Then there are big patch notes you can read through, plenty of fixes and changes. I won't spend a ton of time on it. My favorite line has got to be, fixed an issue that prevented from firing an ATV's main cannon. That's right, gotta be able to fire those cannons on those ATVs. I assume they meant prevented you from firing an APC's main cannon. They've actually now deleted this line from the notes. It was gone when I went back later, but I promise it was there. Why would they delete it instead of making a minor correction? I don't know. But I guess these patch notes are always leaving out plenty of stealth changes, so it doesn't matter if you delete something. Did they actually fix some rare vehicle cannon bug? Probably, but who knows. It is sad for so much work to go into the patching and the content for it to be fumbled at the communication step every time. I'm not talking about typos, those are funny, and who cares? Only about the stealth changes. Oh, the runner-up best line would have to be the fire damage remaining present for a duration of 20 seconds. Is that some kind of notation I'm not familiar with? Because it seems like a weird keyboard slip to not catch. The stuff that most people are going to care about is the weapon balancing, and there's some big stuff here. I do not have all the tested details. No doubt Ace will be whipping that up far faster and better than I could, but to quickly discuss what's listed here, they said they fixed the stopping power headshots issue, where headshots could give you lower damage with some things, punishing you for hitting the head. Weird, because that was an issue a long time ago, and I thought they already fixed it previously, but okay. They added a close-range damage shelf for the FAL with one-shot headshot potential. Kinda crazy. They gave the AK noticeably better ADS time and handed out some wild buffs to just about every sniper and marksman rifle, minus the EBR. Buffing ranges, giving the HDR guaranteed body shot kills, not a huge Warzone effect because of armor, but great for ground war, and nice in general to not have a drop-off point. And then they buffed the Kar 98K's ADS speed, hipfire, and range. It was already a popular choice for quickscoping. Goddamn. And they buffed up shotgun slugs a decent amount, because they were a bit of a joke. Then the nerfs were handed out to, you guessed it, the Grau and MP5. Every tryhard's Warzone loadout right there. Also, the new Gulag AMR took a little range hit as well. Gotta say, the MP5 looks like it wasn't affected terribly. It lost some range, but the rest of the nerfs were only to the 10mm ammo, which was a good multiplayer option, but for Warzone you'd want the 45 round mags, so should still be good in Warzone, which I think is fine. The Vector or MP7 would just step in if they destroyed the MP5. And the Grau, losing some range and recoil control, makes sense. It was the dominant choice just about everyone landed on, but even knowing that, I honestly never liked it very much. I've always had a better feel for the M4, and had more fun with the FAL, or M13 even. The Bruin ain't even half bad, so the Grau will still be good, I'm sure. It wasn't destroyed, but I don't see myself using it. I want to try out that FAL some more. I already liked it, and it sounds insane now. As much as the Grau clearly became the meta for a while, there are plenty of other weapons not that far behind. Also at the end, I should mention a fairly big no stock attachment nerf. Increases your recoil big time. I would not use that attachment anymore. Alright, moving away from the patch notes, plenty more to read linked below if you want. There's the weapon we knew was coming, the Rytek anti-material rifle, the 50 cal, filling the niche of a powerful semi-auto. You unlock it by getting 3 quickscope kills with a sniper or marksman in 15 games. Honestly, exactly what I predicted. They've been loving those quickscope challenges. Shouldn't take too long, but yeah, annoying time-gated type of challenge as always, because they'd love for you to buy the bundle in the shop instead. Yeah, I'll pass. It's got some interesting attachment options, very unique ammo with the explosive and thermite rounds. Not the most practical, but it can destroy shielders and could be fun on vehicles like the crossbow ammo types, and gotta do some testing in Warzone versus armor. How much damage would sticking someone with thermite do? Another thing you might care about, it does get a lot of the aim down sight stuff, just like the AX50. I was able to bring the Rytek ADS time down to 400 milliseconds when all loaded up, which is the same as the AX50, but by default, without attachments, it was quite a bit slower, approaching 700 milliseconds compared to the 600 of the default AX50. I'm assuming it'll be similar in strength to the AX50. They are both 50 cals, and for balance reasons, I doubt they'd have the semi-auto be topping the damage range of the HDR. They did just buff it to make it infinite, maybe to help it stand out even more, but we'll see how it plays out. This could be a lot of fun in Warzone. And Warzone is what we should talk about now. They finally wonderfully cleaned up the menu, by the way, instead of pushing practice modes off the screen. BR Quads has been upped to 200 players. You got 50 squads fighting it out. Everywhere they talk about the 200 player thing, it sounds kind of like a permanent update, but the image says limited time mode. So maybe it'll go back to normal after a week, or they just want a trial period to make sure it goes smoothly with 200 on the map. I know there's a lot of impressive tech that goes into getting Warzone to run as well as it does, especially on old consoles with crossplay and all that, and this sounds like yet another accomplishment on a technical level, but I gotta say, I really don't care how many people are on the map. I guess first of all, I hardly play any quads, more duos and trios, but if I did, if anything, now the odds of winning are just lower. If you're someone who loves to go for the highest kill games possible though, this should be a fun upgrade, the action will be a bit higher, and if they're gonna replace quads with a limited time mode again, I'm glad that this is pretty much the same thing, and not a repeat of the realism quads situation. In other game mode news, there is the Juggernaut Royale they teased before, and it is coming soon, I guess, not in the game just yet. In before that replaces the 200 player as the new quads mode next week. In Jug Royale, you can find one of the airdropped Jug packages that drops on the map to put on that armor and minigun, and whenever a Juggernaut dies, a new Jug crate will be dropped. I think this is a funny thing to try in the spirit of it being a limited time mode. I'm sure it'll be more warmly received if it doesn't replace a core mode. Please. I'm sure you can get up to some goofy antics riding around on vehicles with a jug and a trophy on top, although I don't see myself really wanting to play it very much. It seems like whoever's got jug armor will want to sit in a close quarters building of some kind as much as they can, where nobody would ever want to push you because they will not win that fight. As opposed to if you're outside, you're just gonna get peppered with long-range fire or maybe ran over by a car. So interesting mode, maybe that piques your interest? Fighting over jug crates? I don't know. Couple other new additions to Warzone. There's the supply run contract, where upon picking it up, it'll direct you to a buy station that you gotta get to within the 2-minute time limit, probably with the help of a vehicle, and you'll get discounted prices there, kind of like a more controlled fire sale. And I did get the exact same 80% off and free revives as a fire sale, but I can't say for sure if it's the same every time. I think this fits in well with the other contracts as a thing you'll want to situationally pick up. It's yet another thing that'll get people moving around the map more than they might otherwise, which I think is always good, and these should also be a great help for those pesky ribbon challenges everyone hates of buying ammo and armor boxes. Keep these contracts in mind for sure. The only downside is that as more contracts get added, the main three that I would consider the core staples get even harder to find, and Supply Run can play a similar role to the Most Wanted. Like if you're dropping in from the Gulag with not much money as the only guy alive on your team, one of these contracts can easily help you get your team back, similar to how Most Wanted did. I'm glad they're not replacing contracts, but I hope that the core three stay more common than these, or I don't know, we'll see if they keep adding more types as we go. Next, there's the spotter scope as a new piece of equipment. Not in Create a Class, only something you can loot, and I didn't find one, but it's reusable like the Heartbeat, and just picture having a pocket variable zoom sniper scope, but with no glint to worry about. It also has a thermal mode you can swap to, and it actually allows you to mark targets just like how a recon drone does, giving you that basic wall hack for longer than a normal ping does. And the thermal mode is pretty fun to have. I think it's a cool addition. The marking makes it pretty darn viable for someone on the team to be running it if you find one. I didn't think it sounded that great before seeing gameplay with the marking, because you can see players from plenty far away, even with iron sights, and if you just have one gun with a VLK optic, you can see enemies at any range that matters. But the marking totally makes this worth sacrificing a Heartbeat or having a stun or a smoke or something in a team setting. In solos, I'd still keep the Heartbeat. Finally, they've cycled out the Gulag weapons again, now to snipers and semi-auto rifles. Oh boy, as well as one loadout being a punching and throwing knife one, which I think that makes sense for Gulag, pretty funny. But snipers, I don't know about that. Good luck if you're gonna try to quickscope, because I assume people are just gonna strafe out to one side, hard scoping a lane, and try to win that coin flip. Fun times. Lots of people already didn't like that ARs felt too weighted towards pre-aiming and punished moving compared to the pistols and shotguns. I don't exactly want to return to shotguns, but if I could pick the Gulag loadouts, I think I'd want pistols, and SMGs would be okay too, maybe even with sprint to fire and ADS speed attachments, so that it isn't about hard scoping a lane, mobility and accuracy is rewarded. And if you're going to include the damn Magnum, then put a lightweight trigger on it for the love of God. But oh well. It's gonna be snipers for a while. Have fun. I never really bothered to talk about any shop stuff, but this Warzone starter pack caught my interest at first because of the wording they chose. For $5, get a major boost to your loadouts. Made me think they were about to sell loadout slots, like how Black Ops 2 sold you 100 other things, 10 whole tabs for $2 if I recall. Ah yes, back in the earliest stages of COD MTX, when people were ecstatic at the opportunity to be able to buy camos. Anyway, they're not doing that. It was just weird wording. Apparently getting a couple skins and XP tokens is considered a major boost to your loadouts, operator collection, and XP rate. Yeah, so that isn't very interesting. I guess you could call it a good value, because you get the 500 COD points, but only in comparison to the wildly overpriced stuff that targets the whales. This targets the average person who might want to buy something, and it'll get their foot in the door of the COD points ecosystem. Maybe it is a good value to you? I don't know. I place no value in this stuff. I am surprised they haven't sold loadout slots yet, though. They could probably get away with it if it were cheap, like Black Ops 2, and not part of a $20 bundle. But it would definitely be kind of lame with how Warzone and multiplayer and co-op all share the same loadouts, and instead of fixing that issue, they forced owners of the full game who have that problem to buy more slots. If I just had 10 separate ones for Warzone, that'd be more than enough. Pretty please. But we'll see. So that's a summary of our mid-Season 4 update, but Warzone does contain many unsolved mysteries. Who knows when they might evolve, or what might have been added in this update to be discovered. Some more RCXD parts laying around in a shed somewhere. Oh boy. I think I heard one of the bunkers was now updated so that you can actually enter numbers into the keypad. And yeah, we have no word on any sort of live event that could go down, any trains coming through on those updated tracks and tunnels, any big rockets getting fired, maybe both at the same time, train go boom. Bunker 10, the stadium as well, has not visibly changed. On the outside at least, maybe someone's gonna recon drone glitch inside. But this all looks the same. Meanwhile, we got this image in the blog post, and if you look closely, it definitely makes it look like the stadium's getting opened up, with some different looking windows in the middle there, and clearly more detail visible inside on the right. This whole section became fully transparent, even looks like you can see the sky up through there, and on the top left, it looks like some new thing attached to the side, maybe an alternate way to get up, some kind of cable to zip up would be interesting. But nothing like that reflected in the game just yet. And one of the fixes in the patch notes about how late game circles can move even mentions the middle of stadium as an example of something that you cannot access. Yet? Question mark? I don't see how this image could just be some artistic messing around for no reason, or some rendering errors. I assume they take these action shots in a dev environment where Stadium has had some work done on it. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Oh, and how could I forget? For Special Ops, this week's modified operation is Strongbox, with Ammo Drain, Squad Link, and Gas Martyrdom. Pretty cool that we're still seeing new modifiers. They didn't just come up with 5 of them to cycle through on repeat. And this does sound like more fun than last week. Also, I didn't see this mentioned anywhere, but they did add a new co-op mission challenge. Usually these only come with each new season, but I guess we didn't get a co-op one with Season 4, so cool to see this drop mid-season. You can go for this kinda weird M13. It looked cooler in the thumbnail, not gonna lie. Alright, there's the mid-season update. Good stuff. Out of all the new content, what stands out to you? Let me know. Is it Shoot the Ship coming back? Or is that not good enough? Would Shipment coming back be better than this entire update? Probably for some people, and that's pretty sad. Modern Warfare is the best, ain't it? Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.